Hello once again, dear viewers. You're watching ERi-TV. Welcome to our news broadcast. Here are the major headlines. One 133 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19. World Blood Donors Day observed nationwide. Gunmen storm villages, kill dozens in Nigeria. Israel swears in new government. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. 133 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out in the past 3 days at quarantine centers in central, southern, Gash Barka and southern Red Sea regions. 81 patients from these are from quarantine centers in Asmara, Central Region. 46 patients are from quarantine centers in the Kamhare, Mandafara, Adkhwala, Arraza, Dbarwa, Sanafe, Kwatit, Southern Region. 3 patients are from quarantine centers in Adbara, Gash Barka region. The last 3 patients are from quarantine centers in Asab, Southern Red Sea region. On the other hand, 142 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central Region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients to date has accordingly risen to 4,420, while the number of deaths stands at 16. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 4,981. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 14 June 2021. Owing to the increased awareness of the society on the importance of voluntary blood donation, encouraging achievements is being registered in the effort to enrich National Blood Transfusion Center and other health facilities. The report was made in a statement issued by the National Association of the Voluntary Blood Donors in connection with 14 June, World Blood Donors Day. The statement underlined that as a result of the sustainable awareness-raising programs through the mass media and other outlets, the number of voluntary blood donors has significantly increased. A number of communities, families, as well as the youth and students are taking the initiative to voluntarily donate blood, and that in 2020, 93% of those blood demand of the National Blood Transfusion Center was met, the statement added. In related news, 14 June, World Blood Donors Day was observed nationwide on 13 June at the premises of the National Blood Transfusion Center and the premises of representatives of ministries, national organizations and institutions. Speaking at the event, Dr. Johannes Techaste, Medical Director of the National Blood Transfusion Center, detailing the significance and objective of the day, said that the number of voluntary blood donors is increasing from time to time and called for reinforced contribution with a view to meet the safe blood demand of health facilities. Nurse Barakhat Musazgi, Secretary of the National Association of Voluntary Blood Donors, on his part, gave extensive briefing on the strengths and weaknesses of the association, as well as on the implementation of charted-out programs. The event featured cultural and artistic performances. 14 June, World Blood Donors Day, is being observed for its 18th time, both nationally and internationally. The National Confederation of Eritrean Workers Training Center in Massawa organized a 3-month training to 99 civil servants, including 22 women. At the graduation ceremony conducted on 11 June, it was stated that the trainees were given refreshing courses on the trainings they were provided in 2018 to 2019. Speaking at the event, the director of the training center, Engineer Arafai Nebeyin, said that the objective of the courses was to equip trainees with the necessary skills that can help in the implementation of the 3-level curriculum prepared by the Vocational and Technical Training Department of the Ministry of Education. Mr. Jeremias Peloton, coordinator of the Committee for the Swiss Eritrea Project, SUKE, on his part, stated that they have been collaborating with Eritrea and that the interest, innovation and creativity demonstrated by the trainees during the training period calls for deeper collaboration. representative of the trainees on his part expressed readiness to exert capacity-level contribution in the implementation of national development drives. The National Confederation of Eritrean Workers Training Center, that is in Massawa, has so far organized vocational trainings to 462 workers, including 144 women in 6 fields. Those are domestic news. Please stay tuned for the international right after the short break. Assailants on motorbikes raided several villages in northern state of Nigeria, attacking farmers and pursuing those who attempted to flee, police and residents say. Armed assailants have killed 53 people in northwest Nigeria's Zamfara state, according to police and local residents, the latest violence to hit the restive region. Many motorcycle-riding gunmen, known locally as bandits, on Thursday through Friday raided the villages of Kadawa, Kwata, Muduba, Ganda, Samu, Swaloa, and Ashkawa in the Zurmi district, AFP news agency called the sources and saying the news on Saturday. The gang shot residents, attacked farmers in their fields, and pursued others who fled to escape the assaults. Zamfara police spokesman Mohammed Shehu said 14 bodies had been taken to the state capital Gusau on Friday and added that the policemen were deployed in the area following the attacks. Local residents said 39 more bodies had been recovered and buried in the neighboring town of Duwaran. Villages in the Zurmi district have been repeatedly raided by bandits, and local residents blocked a major highway last week, calling on the authorities to end the attacks. Northwest and central Nigeria have in recent years fallen prey to gangs of cattle thieves and kidnappers who raid villages, killing and kidnapping residents, in addition to stealing livestock after looting and burning homes. The criminals have begun to focus on raiding schools and kidnapping students for ransom. Israeli parliament approved a new government with right-wing nationalist Naftali Bennett sworn in as prime minister. Benjamin Netanyahu's 12 years tenure as Israeli prime minister has come to an end, as the country's parliament on Sunday approved a new coalition government led by right-wing nationalist Naftali Bennett. Bennett, the head of an ultra-nationalist party that controls 6 seats in the 120-seat Knesset, was sworn in as prime minister after the parliament backed the new coalition government by a razor-thin margin of 60 votes to 59. Bennett will lead an unlikely alliance of left-wing, centrist and right-wing parties, as well as a party that represents Palestinian citizens of Israel, who account for 21% of the country's population. The parties have little in common apart from a desire to unseat Netanyahu. Under a rational agreement, Bennett will serve as prime minister for 2 years, after which he will be replaced by centrist leader Yair Lapid, the chief architect of the new government. Shenchao 12, meaning divine vessel, will be the third of 11 missions needed to complete China's space station by 2022. A Chinese spacecraft will blast off from the Gobi Desert on a Long March rocket in the coming days, ferrying 3 men to an orbiting space module for a 3-month stay, the first time China has sent humans into space for nearly 5 years. Shanchu 12, meaning divine vessel, will be the third of 11 missions needed to complete China's space station by 2022. Among them, 4 will be missions with people on board, potentially propelling up to 12 Chinese astronauts into space, more than the 11 men and women that China has sent since 2003. Chinese astronauts have had a relatively low international profile, a United States law banning NASA from any connection with China means its astronauts have not been to the more than 2-decade-old International Space Station, visited by more than 240 men and women of various nationalities. China which aims to become a major spacefaring power by 2030, in May, became the second country to put a rover on Mars, 2 years after landing the first spacecraft on the far side of the moon. Before we close for tonight's news, let's have a recap of the headlines tonight. "133 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19. World Blood Donors Day observed nationwide. Gunmen storm villages, kill dozens in Nigeria. Israel swears in new government. And that was all for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.